Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this live broadcast of KCR's Associated Students Presidential Debate. On a recent executive order from the Trump administration called for local law enforcement agencies to aid in deportation, Chancellor Tim White's office appeared to defy that policy in part when it announced, quote, "The enforcement of those laws is the responsibility of the federal government, not the CSU." Do you agree with the Chancellor's interpretation of the executive order? And Chloe?
Yeah, I absolutely support what Chancellor White said, and I think that we should stand in solidarity with our undocumented students and students who are directly affected by that executive order. Your status should not define your right and access to education, and I definitely think that students in the CSU system should feel safe and should feel like their university is going to stand with them.
For this next question,
Okay.
this one's specifically for you. You've advocated for a university-wide technological advancement project. You mentioned it's hard to check grades and register for classes on smartphones. SDSU doesn't own the Blackboard platform we use for a lot of our classes, and students don't have to use their phones to register for class. What technological changes could you realistically bring to improve educational outcomes for students?
That's a great question. So I definitely want to push forward with technological advances university-wide. So one of those goals is to push forward moving with an app. So there's been a lot of discussion for years about building an AS or SDSU app, and we could build into that infrastructure resources and information for students. And along with that, I know that Blackboard isn't owned by San Diego State, and there has been talk of replacing Blackboard within board of directors meetings. I'm not sure what platform would be chosen next, but I think that we need to be having conversations with administration and university leaders about how we can better use technology to make that information accessible to students. These are meetings that I would be in the room for as Associated Students President, and I would advocate on behalf of all students to make sure our technology is accessible and useful for everyone.
I would like to say I sit on board of directors as well and have not heard any talks about a Blackboard being replaced with any other platforms. So just would like to clear that up.
Oh, my apologies. I believe I heard that from some administrator designee in the meeting, but I could be incorrect about that.
A resolution to condemn anti-Semitism has been presented to Associated students. You said you support that condemnation, but you've mentioned earlier this week that edits need to be made to anything that's finally approved. Specifically, what would those changes be?
I definitely think that anti-Semitism is a problem here at SDSU, and we need to stand in solidarity with Jewish students who do face discrimination or harassment based on their Jewish ethnicity or heritage. I want to let every student know that I will stand for them, but I do want to protect, like I said, other students' freedom of speech in making sure that they're allowed to bring in speakers or host events that also show other sides of the story and may be critical of Israel.
All right. If elected president, how will success be defined at the end of your term? And Chloe.
Yeah, so I definitely want to lead with integrity, and for me that definitely means doing what I say I'm going to do. And I definitely don't want to be a president who's afraid to take a stance on the issues and serve all students in the SDSU community. And I really want to make sure that I'm encouraging all students here to be the voice and be the change.
All right, thank you. That's all the time we have for KCR's 2017 AS presidential debate. We'd like to thank the candidates, Chloe Sension, Caitlin Hart, Chimizi Ibierque, and Ben Delbeck. And thanks to you, our audience on the radio and on Facebook Live. Voting begins this Monday, March 13th. The online polls on your SDSU web portal will stay open until Thursday. When those results are announced Thursday night, KCR will be live from Montezuma Hall, bringing you all the election results.